I'll never forget the first time my brother was like, meat only? What about veggies? And he wasn't confronting me, but I was like, It's
the JJ and Eric Carnivore Show.
Well, a warm welcome to you all. I'm JJ. I'm a life coach and I eat mostly meat.
I'm Eric. I'm a novelist and I eat meat and coffee.
Now, you don't have a lot of interactions in the real world.
Not
IRL.
if I can help it.
Right?
But I just talked to a guy just like less than a half hour ago.
That's true.
And it went off without a hitch.
Good job.
Thanks.
Well, sometimes I have a little more dealing with people than you do.
Yeah.
In my various functions and as in my family too. And I often get asked when they find out I'm doing the carnivore diet and I eat mostly meat, it brings up some questions. And I find that if I'm not here speaking to our carnivore friends,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I get tongue-tied and I'm like, well, yeah, it's great. I feel pretty good.
It's a proper human diet. So all the nutrients are in meat. You don't need vegetables.
No fiber. It's okay.
And the cholesterol's not probably
Don't
a problem.
worry.
Maybe it's good. Yeah, it's not convincing if you say that stuff. So today,
Yes.
we are going to workshop how to think meat.
How to think meat. And I know this is going to help me come up with the answers when I'm talking to people.
Right. So
Yeah.
we're going to use MEAT as an acronym
What?
so that we can readily explain to others why we're carnivore. So
Yeah.
M is the first letter in MEAT.
Now, for me, an M would be mental health all the way. For me, mental health is a huge, huge benefit. So that M is, I'd probably say mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would be pretty non-intuitive to most people who you would be talking to.
That it gives
Yeah.
you mental health.
So that
things.
would be a surprising detail.
Yes.
That I think right away would engage them like, oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were crazy. I too like the mental health one, but I kind of, maybe I lean toward muscle
Yeah.
because I think in terms, well, I'm eating a muscle, but also it builds muscle and it improves body composition. So that's another alternative for M. And then, but there's also metabolism or metabolic.
Yes, definitely.
And I don't know. I mean, I kind of like that one, except for it's a little bit of a thinky word, depending on your audience.
Well, I think we've heard so long about how you don't want your metabolism to shut down. And,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it conveys enough of a benefit. What do you think? It's really for your metabolic health.
Yeah.
But haven't we been told everything's for our metabolic health for the last 20 years?
That's true. Eat 6 meals of high carbs every day.
Yeah. For your
Small meals,
Yeah.
because you're going to be hungry in a couple hours.
Yet maybe one of our listeners and viewers can give us the right framing for that.
Yeah. So if you think metabolic or metabolism is the right word for
you.
M,
Yeah.
let us know why you think that.
Yeah.
Also, is there another word like maximum
Maximum.
or mighty or mandible? Because you're chewing was kind of a stretch.
I don't want. Remember those days when we had to chew our mom's overcooked meat, though?
Yeah, that was a mandible workout.
I don't want people to think
It
this
was a
is
maximum mandible workout.
maximum mandible workout. I don't think I'm going to frame my carnivore diet as a maximum mandible
Okay.
workout. Yeah.
Should we move on to E?
Let's E. What would you say if someone wanted to know about your diet and you were on E?
Energy.
Oh, you took mine. Yeah. That's
But
okay.
I think it's the right one for most people
yeah.
because even it's counterintuitive if you're from the old framework of you need carbohydrates for energy. But a fatty steak is, well, all that fat, that's what runs the engine for carnivores.
Yeah.
And you don't cut the fat off. You eat that stuff. When it's delicious, but that's where you derive the energy to keep going.
Energy for me has been a big theme in my life. I've had about a decade, more than one decade, but decades of having low energy.
Yeah.
And so I think I like that. I could also see an argument for endurance.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I used to have exercise intolerance. And so I would wear out really quickly. When our daughter was little, if I took her, say, to the fair for a day, I'd be wiped out for days. And that wasn't even exercise. That's just normal activity.
Too many funnel cakes.
No, it
You
wasn't.
couldn't have funnel cakes.
It wasn't even funnel cakes. It was just literally, again, going back to the one you said, energy issues. And so now I have the endurance to be able to make it through my days really. Oh, here's another one, with ease.
Oh, yeah.
I make it through my
Ease.
days with ease, my weeks with ease. I used to be passed out at like 7:30. I was done. Brain fog, gone. And now I have the endurance, like I said, for my days, my weeks. I'm not like Friday night, just, oh my gosh, I can't make it. I mean, my endurance is at a level I never thought I'd see, and especially in my 50s.
I have another E word
Okay.
that fits.
Okay.
Efficient.
All right.
And that's because you use all of the food you eat and you don't expel much.
That is so
Waste.
true.
So unlike when you eat plants where most of it just goes right on through.
That's the point of it, right?
Yep.
Cellulose.
It's also time efficient, right? Because once you don't have to spend a lot of time shopping in the grocery store because you're not going through the aisles. You're just going around the edges, right? And it's pretty quick to prepare.
Yeah.
And so that's efficient.
Yeah, it is. It is. I just had to go to the grocery store and I was like, grumble, grumble, grumble. But it's so fast. I've got eggs and I got meat and that was about it.
So in your response below, because you're going to tell us what MEAT stands for you.
Yes.
So is it energy, endurance, efficiency, ease? Eric? that could be it.
Wow.
Although I don't know that I want to be associated with food.
Meat.
Yeah. That's right. All right, let's go on to A.
All right, let's move on to A. And what would you say for A? I'm going to let you pick.
To me, this was the easiest one. Ancestral.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say.
Because all of the anthropological evidence shows that humans were eating this before the other A, agriculture, came in and made us rich and sick.
Yes. Well, I'm going to say appetite. A for appetite. Because eating meat really helps you get in touch with your appetite, for one. You learn your appetite signals, your satiety signals. And I thought on other diets, I have been starving a lot of the time, right? You eat 6 times a day because you're hungry 6 times a day. And for me, not only has it gotten me in touch with my appetite, but my appetite is not ruling my life anymore. It's been, I'm going to say suppressed, but I still eat a lot of food. It's just not all day long. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's completely transformed my appetite into one that is more efficient. How about that?
Oh, yeah, that's good. I've been trying to think of other A's that we could apply to this, but I love ancestral so much. But one word that came up was abundance. But it was kind of general. It's kind of vague in what it meant, but I like the way it felt when I thought it. So, but maybe for one of you, meat is abundant. And so that's the right answer.
Well, for me, it sort of kind of ties back to the others of abundance of energy, abundance of mental clarity, abundance of mental health, abundance of health.
How about amazing?
Oh, amazing.
Awesome?
I think I've told people I feel amazing eating this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that might be,
I like that one,
It's an acceptable one.
I
and
like
so, remember, we're trying to use this to talk to someone else. And so we're saying M-E-A-T is next.
T.
So go.
Well.
What T letter? A word number 10.
Transformative. It has been for me such a huge transformation in my life that I'm actually getting almost emotional thinking about it. Not only has it transformed my body and my mind, but my entire life, the entire second half of my life looks completely transformed than it did before I started eating meat regularly, mostly meat. Yeah. It's been a huge, huge transformation for all the reasons I've kind of already stated. I'm not going to go back into it again, but just massive transformation.
I have to agree with transformation would be one I would pick for T. Also, if you're having that conversation, it is obvious to them that you have transformed if they've seen you before and now they're seeing you now. But I also was considering that maybe tasty. Like if you like those foods, obviously tasty works. Yeah. Although it hasn't always been the case for me.
No, it hasn't been.
And then total. But total didn't quite snap in as well as transformation. But it's total nutrition.
Oh,
right? You get all of everything you need from meat.
That's the angle. Yeah, I like it. Total.
Although I think Total Nutrition is probably a brand, but I'm not sure of that. Maybe.
It's probably a protein shake or a supplement or something.
Let's take another look at this and think of it in terms of like what carnivore is doing for the body. So you've got mental health improving, energy increasing, appetite controlling, transformation.
Oh.
So I think that's how I would choose my meat story.
Yeah.
And do you think you agree with that one? Or are you going to do some alternative?
What did you say? Mental
health improving.
Energy
increasing. Appetite controlling. Although I loved ancestral.
Ancestral, yeah.
Ancestrally appropriate would also be good.
Oh, 2 A's.
The double A.
Yeah.
Appetite controlling, not suppressing.
Yeah, that's a better word. I said suppression. Yeah. Transformation.
Total tasty transformation.
Well, I really like this. I still need to memorize so that I'm not just like, I'll never forget the first time my brother was like, meat only? What about veggies? And he wasn't confronting me, but I was like, oh, you're really asking me about this. So I know this is really going to help me.
Right. And I think you said something like, it turns out there is nothing that you can get from vegetables that's essential that isn't in meat. Now, it wasn't that verbatim.
It was close. Yeah, that sounds right.
But one of the problems with that statement is that it's an assertion of fact, which it could be true or not true. And so the recipient may hear that and go, I don't know if that's true. And so it's better to try to find ones that are testimonies that you've experienced rather than assertions of facts that they might dispute.
Yeah.
That's
true.
Just kind of the way I view it.
That's true.
From a lawyerly perspective, I'm not a lawyer, although I think I could have been a good one.
Probably.
Except for I don't like confrontation. No. So I wouldn't have been good at negotiating, litigating, or pretty much anything else that lawyers do.
So Eric mentioned this is a workshop video. So again, we want to hear from you. What would your acronym be? What have we missed? And will this help you talk to people about carnivore? We're curious.
Every day stronger.
Every day more blessed.
JJ and Eric, their lipids are high. Their doctors are worried they're both gonna die. Is LDL harmless? They sure hope it's so. It's the JJ and Eric Carnivore Show. Salad is toxic, seed oils are doom. They rub on tallow like greasy perfume. Ribeyes and bacon, that's all they know. It's the JJ and Eric Carnivore They're coming to chat with their carnivore friends. So toss out the lettuce, embrace the beef glow. It's the JJ and Eric